Have you ever wondered about the bones of a story? What did the outline look like before the characters hijacked it? Ophelia Kee always wondered the same things about her own stories. As a discovery writer, the chaotic pantser style, not even the author knew how the tales in the Draoithe Saga would go until they went. Backward analyzing one story while busy writing the next tale or two somehow never happened. Apparently, OK put things off long enough, and some fancy computer magic will provide us with those long-wished-for story overviews. We can finally X-ray the tales from the dream and see their skeletons. Shall we investigate the next story in the dream?
Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to jump into a story, one where the line between crime and sacrifice gets really blurry. We're talking about a love so desperate it drives a dragon who's been around for centuries to break literally every single one of his sacred laws.
So, the story drops us right into the thick of it, a super tense magical trial. But get this, it's not in some ancient spooky castle. No, it's all going down in a totally normal suburban driveway. You've got this incredibly powerful dragon knight, Flame, who's been around forever, and he's suddenly forced to his knees by magic. And his accuser? You'd think it'd be some big bad guy, right? Wrong. It's his own brother, Ash, who just so happens to be the lord of all dragons. And man, the charges they're about as serious as it gets. So right away, you're hit with this huge question. Why? What could possibly push him to do these things? And to even begin to get it, we have to take a step back and really understand the world he lives in. A place where breaking these magical laws isn't just a slap on the wrist. It's a matter of life and death.
Okay, so this whole thing is happening in a magical realm that's kind of hidden inside our own world. It's called Draoithe. Think of Draoithe as a pocket universe. Magic here isn't just waving a wand, it's a living, breathing force. And keeping it balanced is, well, everything. You've got all these legendary beings walking around trying to keep that balance, and for a lot of them, destiny shows up in the form of a life mate or a fated partner.
And this place is just packed with supernatural creatures. You've got your ancient dragon shifters, they're basically the protectors. Then there are the Valkyries, who are their fated mates, and dragon riders. There's also this really rare and kind of mysterious type of vampire called a Vjestice, plus a whole bunch of other shifters like werewolves and bears. And the key thing is, they all have their own specific magic and their own ancient laws.
Right. So, in the middle of this whole magical mess, you find two characters who are just completely broken.
First, you have Nightshade. She used to be a human dancer, Hannah, until she was kidnapped and forcibly turned into one of those Vjestice vampires. The trauma from that is so intense that she's literally magically fading away, just disappearing. And then there's Flame. He's the 629-year-old dragon who found her, rescued her, and now he's sworn to do anything, absolutely anything, to save her. So you can see the problem here. Nightshade's life is hanging by a thread. Her own magic, twisted by the trauma of her turning, is basically killing her. And everything they've tried to do to help has failed. The clock is seriously ticking.
Which brings us right back to where we started. That driveway, that trial. Flame is on his knees and he's about to confess, and we're about to find out the desperate reason behind every single one of those charges.
So, let's look at the crimes again, but with the full story. That coercion charge? Well, she was dying of a magical thirst, and he gave her his life-saving blood in exchange for her just promising to let him hold her while she slept so she wouldn't die. Oath-breaking? Yeah, he broke a direct order because he was rescuing her from kidnappers she ran into. And that last, most terrible charge, forcing a woman? It turns out it was the absolute last resort, the only possible way to shock her unique magic into activating and literally stop her from fading into nothingness.
And here's the kicker. Flame doesn't make excuses. He doesn't try to justify any of it. He just pleads guilty to everything. He says right there, he willingly sacrificed his honor to keep her safe. And he knows exactly what that means in Draoithe. A confession isn't just words. It comes with a price, a very real, very awful price.
And judgment comes down instantly. It's not a jury or a judge, it's the magic of the realm itself. It heard the confession, and now it's time to pay the bill for all those broken laws.
And the sentence is brutal. He's condemned to die 4 times. 1 for each of the crimes we just talked about, plus a 4th time for another past failure he confesses to right then and there. And right there, in front of everybody, this powerful magic from the netherworld just strikes him down, kills him, instantly. But then his allies bring him back just so the magic can kill him again. And then a third time, and a fourth. I mean, it is just an agonizing, brutal way to wipe the slate clean. But here's the thing. This horrible price, it gets him exactly what he was after all along. The magic says, okay, debt paid. He's totally absolved, he's clean, and that means he is finally free to be with Nightshade without the shadow of what he did hanging over them. They can actually start a new life.
So, this incredible sacrifice, it sets up the story's really powerful resolution. You see, his sacrifice wasn't just about punishment. It was more like a purification. It was the one and only key that could unlock their future together, getting rid of any magical or moral baggage that was keeping them apart.
And the payoff for all this pain? It's huge. Nightshade sees what he does for her, and she finally accepts their bond, embraces her own power, and becomes his Valkyrie, his fated dragon rider. Her magic stabilizes, and get this, their bond is now so strong it actually protects her from the sun. So this woman, who is literally fading away in the darkness, can now walk in the daylight again. It's amazing.
So the whole thing just leaves you with this really compelling question, right? Flame broke every single sacred rule he'd sworn to protect. But in doing that, he found love, and he got total magical and moral absolution. It really makes you think about what honor even is, and if sometimes, just maybe, the only way to find true redemption is to sacrifice everything you thought defined you.
I sincerely hope you enjoyed this view of a story skeleton, glimpsing the characters, setting, and plot structure along with the twists within the writing in this tale from the Draoithe Saga by Ophelia Kee. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more original stories and audio adventures. A special thank you to OK Music Writers for writing and for sharing the Enter the Dream soundtrack. It's more than a story, it's an experience. Welcome to the dream.